These are 10 things I am not buying in 2022 to save money and live a more simple, minimalist life. Dryer sheets. Now there's actually a few reasons why I stopped getting dryer sheets. One of them is to save money because it turns out they're not actually necessary. We just moved over to like these wool dryer balls that you pretty much get once and then you don't need them for like ever. And dryer sheets have a lot of harmful chemicals in them, and those get on your clothes, on your sheets, on your towels, and then they're on your body, and it's just not necessary. It's not healthy, it's not green, bad for you, and expensive. Two good reasons to get rid of them. Now I also stopped getting detergent as well. And I know what you're thinking, Gabe, you washing your clothes in the shower again? No, that was a joke. I switched over to pretty much detergent sheets instead, because again, detergent has a lot of chemicals in them. Those chemicals are not great for you. Again, they're on your skin, getting absorbed into your body. Now these are actually the same price, not a sponsor, but I'll try to find a link for you guys. They're a lot easier. They don't have the big containers. You can use them. They're pretty much the same price. It's just one of those small shifts. It's kind of like a bonus one I'm just kind of throwing in there. I think I'm just kind of having this year be the year that I'm done with chemicals. So moving on to the next one is gonna be shoes. For shoes, I pretty much have two pairs that I wear all the time. I have these Earth Runner sandals, which are like barefoot shoes, and then I have these sneakers. A lot of times I've gotten new shoes in the past just because I've been bored with the shoes that I do have, not because they were completely worn out. So this year I'm gonna make sure that I'm using everything until it wears out and is unusable. And I know if I'm wearing my sandals a lot, I will totally be able to make it through this year without buying any new shoes whatsoever. All dairy products for one main reason, and that is that I am not a cow. Actually, there's a lot of reasons. Dairy is not good for you. A lot of people will talk about that you need calcium, but there are actually studies that having milk in people who have too much milk, it actually increases your risk of bone fractures. There's a lot of other things that I'm trying to eat more of, like green leafy vegetables that have a lot of calcium in them. Also, probably like a lot of people, dairy just doesn't like me. It makes me feel sick, and I occasionally cheated last year and I would have different things that didn't hurt me too much that I would have, but this year there's just a lot more negative sides to it than positive sides, so I'm switching over to more healthier foods this year. And it's also gonna save a decent amount of money and makes things like not eating pizza a lot easier when I'm agreeing not to have any dairy. Now obviously I'm not a doctor, this is just something that I'm doing for myself. Junk food and guilty pleasures, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, last year I had some times where I would have a little bit of ice cream every night, or I would have peanut butter, or just like cereal, stuff that I knew I shouldn't have, and I felt bad after having it, but for some reason I still had it. So this year we are trying to make that decision at the grocery store to not have that temptation in the house. It is the easiest way to diet and to make sure that you're putting the best things inside of you that you can. For me, I'm trying to treat this year especially and try to get my gut right, and then also make sure that I'm eating the way I want to eat, and I'm treating food as fuel and something to make my body better and my life better and be healthier, as opposed to something that I do when I'm bored or that actually makes me feel worse. So that's something that I'm really working on this year. Books. So while I am a huge fan of buying books, they've completely changed my life this year. I'm not getting any more physical books. I've actually switched over to a Kindle and Audible exclusively because I was buying books, which I enjoy. I like writing in them and giving them to people afterwards, but I do like the simplicity of just having them all on a digital device. So this year, I'm not gonna buy any more physical books. I'm still trying to read like at least one book a month that is nonfiction, plus probably a fiction book every other month or something like that. But they're all gonna be on a Kindle, so these shelves are not getting any more full, hopefully, even though they're not all my books, honestly. Now, by the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Anything for my kitchen. I'm talking no more coffee cups, no more ways of making coffee, as fun as that is. Especially no new dishes or serving dishes or mugs, no appliances or anything like that. And unless something goes terribly wrong, like we break all of our bowls or something like weird happens, just trying to get nothing more in the kitchen, because stuff can add up. You end up getting something because it has a single use and it seems like a good idea at the time, and then you just end up having a bunch of crap in your drawers and in your cabinet, and it's just everywhere. And and then it's overflowing. So we have everything that I think we actually need. And again, getting away from some of those wants or just like, oh, that'd be nice to have. If there are some of those things, we can borrow them when we need them. But for this year, not adding anything to the kitchen. Home decor items like throw pillows, blankets, art, knickknacks on the shelves, pretty much anything that goes in your house, furniture. This year, we're not getting any more. We've worked really hard to simplify, and the things that we do have serve a great purpose. So this year, I wanna make sure that around the holidays, especially, we don't buy any more Christmas decorations. We have a few that we bring out, but you don't really need more. It seems like the more stuff we bring into our lives and bring into our house, the more stressed we are. It costs money. So I don't like spending money, obviously, and it just clutters up your house, and I'm kind of done with that at this point. So this year, no more stuff. Flights, and I'm not talking about beer or coffee. I'm actually gonna try to travel more this year than I did last year, but I don't wanna pay for the flight. So I'm really focusing in on my credit card churning, travel hacking, whatever you call it, where you sign up for credit cards that have a huge sign up bonus, put all your normal everyday expenses on it, and then kind of move on to the next card. There's a lot more into it. Last year, I only did this a few times. I got about half my flights for free, a couple $1,000s worth of flights, which was really cool. But this year, I'm just gonna put a little bit more effort into it and try to make sure that money is not the reason why I don't go out and experience things, why I don't go out and travel, and kind of take that money and spend it on things that are more important to me than giving it to the airlines. Obviously, this only works if you're doing it correctly and paying off your cards at the end of the month, so look into it before you try it for yourself. But for me, it's something that I'm really trying to dial in this year, is get a lot more free travel, honestly. Cheap soaps, and also a couple other things, but mainly we're trying to get out of using really cheap generic stuff that doesn't work all that well, dries out your skin, has a bunch of chemicals in it, and instead supporting local small businesses or friends who make them and having higher quality stuff, because after testing it out a little bit, it turns out to be almost the exact same price to switch to like really high quality stuff that lasts a lot longer. And just be conscious of how you use it. So we're trying to put less bad stuff in and on our bodies, and then also doing things like cleaning supplies, where instead of having the cheapest stuff all the time that doesn't work all that great, some of them making our own or finding more natural ways of doing it that save a lot of money, and then also work pretty much the same way with being a little bit more green, and also just honestly saves money is the part that I'm most excited about. Water, especially that water that you get when you forget to bring some with you. You have to stop at a store. It's like $1 for this little thing of water that costs them like 5 cents. I don't know why this bugs me so much, but it really bugs me. It just seems like a huge waste of money. So this year we're working really hard not to have to do that. We got some just bottles to put water in, and we got a water filtration system. So we're trying to be very prepared that whenever I leave the house, I'm gonna bring water with me so I don't have to buy that. I'm also not buying any sodas, pretty much anything at all to drink besides coffee. So yeah, I'm just going with coffee and water this year. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell thingamajig, and I'll see you next week.